A couple of months ago, you may remember, probably not, I had a bit of a dig at Barclays Bank. Okay, I must admit I didn't actually mention the LIBOR rate being fixed, but I did finish with the line, Bob Diamond, beware. No doubt by this time the followers of Nostradamus will be proclaiming me as something of a prophet, or at least not a loss. But my ego, flattered by self-gratification, has somewhat foolishly decided tonight to test my ability at predicting the future. Now, at this point, I could cheat and only predict the bloody obvious, such as Andy Murray will never win Wimbledon. Kate Middleton, as was, will announce her pregnancy before next Christmas. At the upcoming 2012 Olympics, which you may possibly have heard about, Team GB's first gold medal will be won by someone nobody has ever heard of, and will be in either clay pigeon shooting or archery. Cheryl Cole will never be voted best female vocalist, even if it was only awarded to X Factor judges from the northeast. When the Duke of Edinburgh will be admitted to hospital for a minor surgical procedure, presumably removing his foot from his mouth. And David Cameron will leave his wife and children, but not necessarily in the same pub. Enough of the easy ones. These others are a little less obvious, but only time will tell. I'll begin with politics. I believe Ed Miliband, who you may or may not know is the leader of the Labour Party, will, after losing the next election, admit to being an alien from the planet Redwood. At which point his popularity will increase considerably, and he would eventually go on to form a coalition government 4 years later, with Professor Brian Cox of the Space Party, Simon Cowell of the World Domination Party, and William Hague of the what's left of the Tory party. And their first law will be to force banks to have at least 2 women, 1 pensioner and a comedian on the board of directors. Strangely, at this time, the world economy will be saved by the discovery of the largest ever oil field, surprisingly under the Irish Sea, which coincidentally occurs as a totally unexpected massive crop of potatoes is harvested across North Africa and the Middle East. Now, sport. I predict Sir Alex Ferguson will become so annoyed by Wayne Rooney sending off and Manchester United's 4th consecutive home defeat at the end of next season, again gifting the Premier League title to main rivals Manchester City, that during his end of match customary rant at an official, his head will actually explode. John Terry will be cleared of headbutting a Japanese player, which occurs during an international friendly. His defence that whilst he may have been swearing and gesticulating at the slitty-eyed opposition player, he was only bowing in respect to his opponent when the headbutt occurred. The following month he will receive the Nobel Peace Prize. Sir Harry Redknapp will be prosecuted by the RSPCA for animal cruelty. They will claim that the responsibility of managing an offshore bank account of over £100,000 will cause unnecessary stress for such a small dog. In the upcoming Test match, which starts Thursday against South Africa, it's rather a series, Andrew Strauss will waltz England to victory. Alistair Cook will make mincemeat of their bowling. Trott will steadily make his way to centuries. And after ringing the changes, Ian Bell will move up the order. Stuart Broad will shoulder more of the bowling, but unfortunately Graham Swan will be out for a duck. I'm sorry about that, but I just couldn't resist. Now the media. Anton Deck will celebrate 25 years of presenting so-called popular TV shows by actually introducing a new joke. The introduction of dozens of new TV channels will create a situation where the average 5 hours a day of TV viewing could all be spent flicking through, looking for something worth watching. The winner of the next X Factor will be a small poodle, who, despite a recent family bereavement, still manages to wag his tail in perfect time to the music and actually make every song his own. He will defeat the dark horse of the competition in the final. And Strictly Come Dancing will fall from grace following the revelation of a steamy love triangle involving Craig Revel-Horwood, Bruce Forsyth and Tess Daly. In 2015, the city of Portsmouth will have an interesting year. They will be selected as the European City of Culture. The football team will be the first Div 2 side to reach the FA Cup final, but unfortunately will be re-entering administration 6 months later, before being repurchased by Balran Chan Rai for the 4th time. And finally, after an outcry at the demise of the English language, poetry will be made compulsory in all schools. And anybody found using Facebook, email, Twitter or texting using abbreviations will be hauled before the courts and forced to handwrite a letter of apology to everyone they know.